And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tech Summit podcast. My name is Francisco.
I'm Chris.
And a Merry Christmas to you all. Now, for today's episode, we are going to be rambling about the things that have been bugging us for the past few days, of course, because that's what Christmas is all about. And one of those things is going to be, well, the whole debacle going around Cyberpunk and, well, just the mess that has become over the last few days, well, just ever since launch even.
Well, Francisco, I think we can also just relax a little bit too. You know, we're in the holiday spirit, or we're trying to be in the holiday spirit, given these unforeseen circumstances and sorts. But of course, remember everyone that if you are watching this on YouTube, social media will be right down over here. And if you're listening on other platforms, they are going to be in the respective descriptions.
Of course.
Now, if we have to talk about complaining, yeah, Cyberpunk probably is the one big thing, I suppose. If only just because there's just continuing mounting problems going on with the game. I suppose, you know, it's probably not going to be in a lot of people's stockings this year.
No,
Maybe
unless they're naughty.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's actually that many new developments when it comes to Cyberpunk. Mostly just a lot of people recording footage of bugs or issues with it. Of course, we do have the refunds still going on.
Yeah.
You know, Sony is now giving refunds and delisted the game entirely. Microsoft is doing extended refunds. Best Buy is accepting refunds on open copies, but Steam has not budged.
Yeah, Steam hasn't been very persistent. And I think that it is mostly because the PC version has been pretty stable.
Ish.
I did actually speak to a friend of ours last night, and he did mention that there are still bugs here and there.
Oh, there's plenty of bugs, and the game is stable provided that you have the hardware to run it.
Yeah, he has a 3080.
Exactly. It's stable for us because 3080, and in my case, 3070. For someone who maybe had, like, say, for example, a 1050 Ti, like he used to, you're getting 20 FPS on low.
Damn.
And driving is out of the question entirely.
Or even worse, like a 970, like that friend of ours used to, that would probably be between 5 to 10 frames per second at 1080p.
Now, so Steam is still being kind of precarious when it comes to refunds.
Yeah.
Just as an example, they denied me. They denied me and my chance for a refund because it says I have 5.5 hours on
Yes.
it. Because we were running tests. So I had to play the same thing on loop and just to make sure we get into the city so we can do the test for the video that's not yet out, is it?
No, not yet. It will be out very soon, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've denied me the possibility of a refund. However, CD Projekt Red has come out and said that if you are not able to get a refund through the usual means, to contact them directly to get one.
Okay.
However, the window for that ended December 21st.
Ooh, that was... Ooh.
Therefore, if you are watching this on Christmas Day, which I don't know why you are, go be with your family.
Well, I mean, also listen to this on your downtime.
In that case, you're too late to get a possible refund through CD Projekt Red themselves. I just barely missed the cutoff. I sent the emails to them, and then I got my everyone's favorite yellow background informing me that to await further details.
Or love CD Projekt Red. Yeah.
Dear gamers, I'm actually really starting to hate the fact they keep doing that. I don't really like the word gamers anymore.
With the capital G.
Yeah, the capital G gamers. That's an entirely separate. I'm not going to get into that, but I just don't like how CD Projekt Red keeps going like, "Dear gamers, we're for the gamers. Leave greed to others," and then proceeds to do what they've done in the past like week or two.
Yeah. They built all of this goodwill and like just for it to go away.
Gone in a week.
Granted, it hasn't gone away entirely, and it is because a lot of people do have faith that they're going to fix the game in due time.
Totally.
I mean, they did say that there are some important patches coming out in January, for example. So there are still going to be those fixes. Now, the question is, can they still make the current version of Cyberpunk 2077 playable on current, last-gen consoles now, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One?
Maybe. The game is horribly unoptimized, seems to be the biggest issue. I do think
all across the board it appears to be the case.
They can possibly fix it, but at the same time, of course, you mentioned the goodwill is pretty much gone, but also by the time they do actually fix it, game's probably not going to be sold for $60 anymore. So I previously believed that $60 was going to be the price for Cyberpunk for a very, very long time because it was like one of those games.
Yeah.
But it's already on sale at Best Buy and other places, including digital PC fronts,
Mhm.
where PC's actually functional. They're already selling it for 50.
I see.
So it's entirely possible that by next summer, Steam summer sale, it could easily already be down to 40 or even 30.
Wait a second. Wasn't GOG actually selling theirs for 50 from the start?
No, it's 60.
It was always 60?
Yeah.
Oh,
There might have been a discount, but
maybe. But with that said, I do think that they're going to fix the game, and when they do, everybody's going to love it again. It is just a shame that they didn't get enough time to develop a game like this because this is a very, very big game. It's insanely ambitious. It's very similar to Final Fantasy Versus 13, how it took so long to for something to actually be materialized to the point where they had actual gameplay footage and not just pretend gameplay footage. But by that time, it became Final Fantasy 15 instead.
I know you say the word ambitious, but in some cases, it doesn't really feel like it's really that ambitious considering how much is missing or how much is simplified. There's so much on the cutting room floor that I have to wonder if it's really ambitious or if, I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible
I just think
that,
that they didn't have enough time to put that
and
ambition
that's
into
entirely
the
possible.
project.
And that's also why I'm looking to refund it. Like, I don't have a problem with the game necessarily, but at the same time, I did spend $60 on it.
Yeah.
And, I would rather, if I can, if I can't, it's fine. But if I can, I would rather return it and just treat it like another delay. Like, oh, the game got delayed to about summer or fall of next year.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. And it's $30 by that point, too? I guess they decided to release it at a lower than MSRP. Okay, fine.
Oh, whoa. I'm
I
surprised no one's
have-
scalping this one.
I have enough of a backlog that I can wait to play Cyberpunk a little bit longer. I'm really excited for it, but I can wait a little bit longer if it means being able to play it the way that the developers had hoped to actually present it to us.
Right. And I'm sure that they had a huge vision for it too.
And of course, we have to note that this, once again, we here at Tech Summit are not shaming the developers whatsoever. We work in artistic fields ourselves, and we know just how much work goes into these things.
Yeah.
The problem is not at all with the developers. The problem is with the upper management and the big people on top that were insisting that this comes out before the holiday season.
Or exactly on the holiday season.
Exactly in the midst of the holiday season after Black Friday.
Yeah. A little too late for Game of the Year nominations, but
Maybe next year.
yeah, I mean, Spider-Man Miles Morales made it, even though it's a very recent game, but whatever.
Wasn't really a Game of the Year nominee, but
I mean, wasn't that still part of the Game Awards?
Miles' voice actor got nominated for Best Performance.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing it got.
Okay. I mean,
And even
that's
it
fair.
lost.
That's fair.
It did lose, so
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh. Either way, I think that in that case, sure, it's fair. But if it had gotten nominated for Game of the Year, which I mean, it was still in the Game Awards in spite of it being so recent, which I still thought it was kind of weird. But
you just think it's weird because Demon Souls didn't get any nominations despite coming out the same day. That's it.
no, I also would have been pretty suspicious if that were the case. Because the game is just too recent. It came out last month.
I mean, you have to consider, that's the thing. A lot of the biggest games of the year will often come out in November. So, November does seem like a reasonable cutoff date for the Game Awards, if only just because that's when a lot of the big titles come out.
I don't know.
It just so happened that the biggest games of 2020 didn't really come out in November this time around.
Yeah.
You know,
One of them came out in March.
two of them came out in March. Two of them came out in March. One was in April. One was in June.
Oh yeah, you're right. The one I was thinking of wasn't April, actually.
Yes,
Come to think
you
of
are.
it, yes.
Yes, I thought you were talking about Animal Crossing.
No.
Yeah, no. Animal Crossing and Doom were in March.
Okay,
Final Fantasy got delayed to April.
that's right.
Last of Us was June.
Kakarot was a January baby, but
Yes, one of the biggest games of the year.
No. It was a great game. I loved it, but I don't think it deserves game of the year award. I don't think it does. I loved it though. I have about 300 hours in that game.
Mhm.
A lot of it has been spent grinding, but I still don't think that the game is really good enough to be up there with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
I'll be frank.
At least you're being aware.
Yes.
I appreciate that you're being a little bit aware. Speaking of, I just realized, okay, it's 11. We are recording this on Tuesday, December 22nd, and it is currently 11:20 a.m.
It feels like Christmas though.
With that on the note, though, in about an hour and a half, we're going to actually have the start of the Steam Winter Sale. Are you thinking about picking anything up for yourself? A little Christmas gift for yourself?
Well, now I am.
What do you got in mind?
Good question. I'm gonna have to look at my wish list again and figure that out. To be completely honest, but I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of wanted to pick up RPG Maker, and it always goes down on like stupid low sales because it costs like $80, I think, by default.
They've also had like loads of humble bundles for RPG Maker as well in the past.
Not surprised at all.
Quite a few.
I mean, on Steam when it goes on sale, it goes down to like 20, even lower, from 80. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they understand that it's probably not worth $80. You know.
I think it's just an MSRP, but they also know that they get more sales during the sales.
Yeah.
So they just sort of have the MSRP up there anyway, but then they are able to drop it down to like 20.
I
Something
guess
tells me $20 is what they actually want to value it at, but like it looks like more of a deal if you wait until sales to do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what JCPenney does all the time, where it'll say, the current price is $20, MSRP 60. It was never $60.
I was actually at JCPenney not too long ago at the Staten Island Mall, and I did see quite a bit of that going on when it came to price tags. I was like, wow, these are quite the savings.
It's not savings whatsoever. It is definitely a tactic.
I
remember a few years back, JCPenney got a new CEO, and they were like, "We're gonna cut that out. Here's the price. That's it. No more phony sales." And their sales tanked. They tanked really badly. And so yeah, people like to be deceived like that, I guess. I mean, it looks nice, doesn't it? It does look nice when
it's just tempting.
it seems like you're having a sale. You feel more tempted to buy the thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it worked for me. I actually ended up buying a bathrobe, which is something that I only pictured myself doing in dreams. And I was like, oh, you know what? This is actually a pretty nice price for a bathrobe. Oh, it's on sale. I got to get that. And now every morning I put it on and I go upstairs and just like rubbing it like from the chest. I'm like, good morning, mother.
I'll give you this one.
Thank you. Yes, finally. So, yeah, but with that said, like back on topic, I do think that they're obviously like
Wait, which topic?
like first the winter sale and then back to Cyberpunk because I do actually kind of want to touch on that.
Okay.
Steam sales haven't been quite as good as they have been in the past.
Totally not. I remember the days of 75, 80, 90%. I miss those.
Yeah. And we still get like 70, 60, but it is mostly, like 60-ish.
Steam usually is not the cheapest place to get a lot of these games.
Yeah.
Like if you go to isthereanydeal.com, which if no one here knows about that,
I didn't
what's
actually.
wrong with you? Isthereanydeal.com, you'll see like historical prices for like a lot of different storefronts.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of the time, the game is cheaper or has been cheaper on another storefront than it has been on Steam.
Like Green Man Gaming.
Like, say, for example, Doom. Let's use 2016 Doom.
Mm-hmm.
2016 Doom on Steam usually goes for about $6 or $7 when it's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
There was a storefront not too long ago that was selling it for $3.
Are we talking about 2016 Doom?
Yes.
Wow.
2016 Doom for about $3 or $4.
That's really good.
Exactly. And there's another storefront that right now has Death Stranding for $24. Just as an example.
Nice.
less impressive, but
yeah. I mean to us, I guess, but
well, you say to us. I actually haven't played it yet.
Oh, I haven't played it either, but like from what I've heard, it's really just mostly like a hallway simulator.
I like Kojima games. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
I think it is worth trying if you are a Kojima fan already. Like if you do like Metal Gear.
It seems very divisive. Yeah, there seems like a lot of people who really like it and a lot of people who really hate it. And I feel like that's a lot more interesting than just everyone saying, eh. Like they do, like, say, for example, Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, like everyone looks at the game and they're like, I'm moving on. But Death Stranding, there were actually a lot of conversations around that game when that game came out.
Yeah.
For sure. I remember the trailer actually being pretty cool. Super weird, but super cool. And that did kind of catch my attention, but like it's not really like the kind of setting that I'm into. I mostly prefer to play like medieval last fantasy games and things like that.
I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah. So yeah, like that game, I just knew that it wasn't really for me, but from the reviews that I've watched, it does seem like it is mostly just like a hallway simulator, even though I feel like that is an exaggeration.
Honestly, I'm not actually not that familiar. Because the thing is, I'm going in relatively blind.
That's fine.
Like I tried not to look at too much gameplay or footage or whatever after the game launched, which
Hmm.
I know it's kind of weird. 2 years after launch, you're still relatively blind to the whole thing. And yeah, I know a couple of things. Like I know Donkey didn't like it. I know that there's a Mario reference that's really badly shoehorned in there. I know there's some monster product placement, I believe it was.
Monster?
Yeah, I think there's like a long cutscene related thing where like he takes a shower or whatever, and like there's shots where like there's monster energy on the desk.
Oh,
Yeah,
like the monster
not the
drink. I think I'm a
not
Monster
the
Hunter.
oh I thought no, not the drink. It's the drink, not the other game series, not the old job searching websites,
Oh yeah, Monster was the thing. Oh my goodness.
monster.com.
Until
I,
Indeed
I've
overthrown
I've
it.
been rewatching The Office, and that came up at one point. So
Ah man.
trying to rewatch it before it leaves Netflix for good.
It is leaving soon, isn't it?
Yes, going to Peacock. Thanks NBC.
Isn't it still going to be on Hulu though, or is it also leaving there?
I think it's leaving Hulu. I don't.
Ah.
I mean, they've been advertising it as being exclusively on Peacock,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of people are getting angry at Netflix. Don't get angry at Netflix. Get angry at NBC. And the thing is, I know a lot of people are also looking at, well, it's going to be on Peacock for free because Peacock does have a free tier,
Yeah.
but you know it's only a matter of time before they put it behind a pay gate.
Oh yeah.
It's
Of
absolutely
course.
behind a paywall.
Yeah.
The Office has this massive fan base that sometimes I'm actually kind of confused about. I love the show, but sometimes it's a little confusing just how big it is.
Yeah.
They will absolutely pay up money. There's a lot of people who subscribe to Netflix exclusively just to rewatch The Office on loop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are people who do it for other shows too, for sure. But like, it's usually like a very small catalog. Though you do have like your other types of people that do go there because they're genuinely interested in like what indie movies might be coming out soon on there. Not me necessarily, but I will say I did enjoy The Office up until I think season 4, and
Mm.
yeah, because the thing is, I really like season 1. I really like season 2. 3 was also good. 4 to me was when it just started getting too much about relationship, and it wasn't quite as funny to me anymore.
I know what you're getting at. Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand that.
yeah.
I'm gonna be alongside with most other people and say that my interest starts to drop off after season 7. You know when
How many seasons do they have?
they have 9.
9. Oh,
They have
okay.
9 seasons, and season 7 is when Steve Carell leaves. So like that's the
Oh,
one where Steve Carell leaves, and so for a lot of people, that's where it falls off a cliff a little bit.
totally. Understand it
I
completely.
I mean, I think season 8 and 9 are okay. You know, they're not terrible. It's not as bad as like Scrubs season 9, but you know.
Oh, right. Strokes.
So,
Skins also,
but yeah.
which did not go well. Now, I will say, there was also another show that had my attention for quite some time on Netflix.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what it was exactly, and it was on the tip of my tongue just now too. We were just talking about The Office. House.
Oh, House.
Yeah,
Wait, that's on
House.
Netflix?
It was on Netflix for quite a while.
Oh yeah, for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's definitely not on there. I think you have to go on Amazon for that.
I think so. But
Amazon or Hulu.
I was watching it, I think,
it's
back
Hulu.
in 2015 or 2016, like somewhere around there. It was definitely on Netflix back then. And I very much enjoyed the first couple of seasons, but then they started introducing like a new cast of characters, and then it started becoming a little bit too much about relationships, and it just wasn't quite as fun anymore to watch.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched that deep into House. I think I'm like the furthest I've gone is like maybe halfway to the second season. I like House,
Hmm.
but it is very much, at least in those early seasons, very much monster of the week. Kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah. It very much
It
was.
really
I
is
know what you
just,
mean.
here's this problem. Now watch House dunk on everybody.
Yeah.
It's just all,
Just roasting
just
everybody in
let
the
him
office.
dunk on everybody as he solves it.
Yeah, doctors hate him.
There's that one GIF, and yes, I do pronounce it GIF.
Ew.
There's that one
Change that.
like GIF online where it's just like I think it's like even a minute long. It just summarizes every single House episode. And it's exactly accurate. Like it's very much just you are all idiots. I am very smart.
Yeah, that is him. Essentially, that is basically a good half of his character, if not 70% of it. The other part of it is like him being slightly compassionate every now and then the other part of it is him being sad.
Didn't he also have a painkiller addiction too?
Yes, he does. He does. He's always taking pills.
All right.
And when he isn't, he's always like upset and like in a fit. He's like extra mad at people and dissing for things they didn't do.
I figured. Yeah. See, this is a very casual episode today. It's
Yeah.
Christmas. We're relaxing. We're not
Yeah.
going to get that mad about things.
Yeah, like, very much so.
There's no reason to get mad. There's no reason to mention the dreaded.
Scalpers.
I was trying not to say the word, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, just in case for people who might not get the reference to the sound cue.
Because people are going to be tuning in for the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Their very first episode is Christmas.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yes, thank you. That is very much appreciated. Now, Cyberpunk, I'm sure that they're going to fix that issue. I know that by February and March, it is going to be a way better game than what it was in December.
When?
February and March. What do you think? No, really? You don't think so? How much longer do you think it's going to take them?
Okay, so the thing is, you can fix the bugs.
Yeah.
But you might not be able to fix the broken promises.
Yeah. I
So-
feel like that's just going to be
so-
free DLC later.
I was about to say that's the thing. You're
Yeah.
talking. Right, I feel like there's a difference between a functional game
Mm-hmm.
and the game that was advertised.
Got it.
Functional game, yeah, I think February, March, you totally get that. At least on consoles, PC debatably already are there.
Mm-hmm.
The game that everyone was promised, you're probably going to. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you're waiting until like the first expansion, which could very well be another year away, 2022 at this rate. Who knows?
I can see end of 2021 being the case for that.
I feel like I'm sounding very negative about Cyberpunk. Just to put a disclosure, I'm the one who actually played a good chunk of the game, or I say good chunk of the game, the first couple hours of the game. He hasn't played diddly.
Nope. I have not.
So
I've just been very much on the know when
Yeah.
it comes to news.
I do not hate Cyberpunk whatsoever. If I had to give it a arbitrary score
Go for it.
from what little I played, I'd give it like an 8.
An 8 out of 10?
Yeah, an 8 out of 10.
Okay. And so you feel
Which-
like the early stages are pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't ascribe to the way a lot of gamers look at scores. 8 is a great score, as opposed to just good.
Mm.
Like a 6 is perfectly fine, guys. Get over yourselves. It's
I mean, I do kind of fall into that camp. Like, if a game gets a 6, I'm like, oh.
That's because you've been conditioned.
I haven't.
You have been conditioned into thinking 6 is bad. It's,
and it's gonna be pretty tough to kind of change my perspective on that because 6 is almost in the middle.
This is why I would never be a good game critic, by the way, because like I'll be given like a Yoshi game, like Yoshi's Crafted World, for example, and I'll give it a 6, and people will be like, "Wow, he thinks the game is that bad," and I'm just like, "No, it's fine. The Yoshi game is fine."
Like, you would still play it.
And then never think about it again. Yeah.
To me, 6 is pretty bad. 7 is already like reaching that threshold to me.
Really?
Yes.
7 is
Yeah.
fine. 7 is good.
Because like how I see it is that I compared those numbers to like a letter grading system.
Okay.
A 10 being an A, a 9 being a B, an 8. Well, no, like between 9 and 10 being an A.
Yeah.
Between 8 and 9 being a B.
Mm-hmm.
Between a 7 and an 8 being a C.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you see what I'm getting at?
I know what
Between
you're
a
getting
6
at.
and a 7 being a D. Like,
get
that's
that.
already.
So that's my thing, though. So then anything below a 6 is basically just different flavors of bad. So why even have those scores to begin with?
Yeah, I guess so.
At that point, instead of going from 1 to 10, many critics should just go to 1 to 5, like XPlay did back in the day, for example.
Mm.
Just 2 stars, not all that great, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably more simplified, like less vague.
That's the way you're gonna do it. If you're gonna make 1 through 5 all just mean bad,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like to me, 5 means mediocre. For a lot of other people, 5 means insert bad word here. Insert non-PG demonetizing word here.
Poo. I said it. Is that it? No more ads on this one?
That's it. We've been demonetized.
Go ahead. There we go.
You know, we'll open up a Patreon eventually for it.
Though, yeah, like, I do see where you're getting at. Like, if that's the case, games might as well be rated from 1 to 5. Like, if that's how somebody like me might see it, then yeah,
Mhm.
like, it might make more sense to put it that way. Because if 5 and below are basically still going to be zeros to me, no matter how much lower it gets, then yeah, like you might as well. Um, and I can see there, at least for me, like there being a little more nuance between 1 to 5.
Right.
Yeah, so
And
I think I can agree with that.
and it's not even nuanced, just clearer. It's just you're not immediately disqualifying a bunch of different words. Like so for example, Cyberpunk reviews.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk was given a lot of 9s and 10s.
Mhm.
Partly because they were using PC versions while having optimized hardware for it.
Yes.
Let's note that, by the way.
Yeah.
And even then, they were still commenting a lot on the bugs. I don't
Mhm.
think they really commented a whole lot on missing features.
Mhm.
Um,
I would also like to add that they weren't even allowed to use their own footage at first.
not until the game released. That's
Yeah.
right. But yeah, so 9 and 10. For a lot of people, that means the game is good. Well, for a 10, it means it's great. But like, you know what I mean? For like
Yeah.
a 9 is like, oh, that's exactly what I expected. And even then, you had some people going even hard on people who gave it a 9. You definitely have people who went hard on like GameSpot, for example, who gave it a 7.
I see.
Which, again, speaking for myself, let's give a little bit of solidarity to the game critic who at GameSpot gave the game a 7 and turned out to be completely correct with all of the things that she was complaining about.
Mm.
Like, no one wanted to believe her, and everyone was just like, oh, wow, you're just hating on this game, man. It's supposed to be the best game of all time. And then the game came out, and everyone started trashing it. It's like, oh, wow, shocked Pikachu face, I guess. Yeah, it's like, it's.
I guess so. I do remember that there was a reviewer that reviewed the game and didn't really play the game. Like she didn't exactly treat it like an RPG.
It's not an RPG.
Yeah, but it does have a lot of RPG elements, like things like
It
crafting
does have an
and things
RPG
like that.
elements, but the
Yeah.
RPG elements have been so simplified that it's basically just an action adventure.
They're still a very important part of the game, though. Like a lot of people would associate it.
CD Projekt Red themselves have remarketed it as an action adventure game. They
Yeah.
don't. Even they themselves are not calling it an RPG. People struggle to call Fallout 4 an RPG, and Cyberpunk systems are way more simplified than even that.
Wow. I mean,
And I would call Fallout 4 an RPG.
I would say so also. But yeah, like people were. She was essentially like, "Hey, I mean, like, what if I don't want to craft anything? Like, why should I have to craft anything?"
Crafting is actually pretty bad in the game.
Mm.
To what everyone says, I haven't reached a point where I was really, really crafting, but a lot of people say the crafting is really bad.
Mhm.
Like, there's no point in crafting because the loot that they drop is constantly always better than the last one you had. So there's no point to craft or upgrade your things. Just just wait for loot drops and just pick up the newest thing.
I gotcha.
So it's like it's a bad crafting system.
I get it. It's a bad crafting system. It is still part of the game. And
Just comment that as bad. then you comment that as bad. I mean,
yeah,
to be fair,
I'd say
GTA
that.
5 has also.
You can say that it's bad, but like, don't be like, oh yeah, like the crafting system is there. I didn't feel like using it. Therefore, I decided not to even account that into the score.
Okay, so let's use GTA as an example.
Sure.
GTA has a lot of stuff in it. GTA 5 has a lot of stuff in it, including tennis, for example.
Mhm.
What if I don't care to play tennis in GTA 5? Does that mean that my review means less because I didn't get bothered to let the tennis factor into the score at all?
I think that as a reviewer, you should keep that into consideration still. Even if you were indifferent about it, like at the very least play it.
It's a very subjective thing, I think. I feel like it's,
I guess so.
like,
As a reviewer myself, like not when it comes to games, but like when it comes to tech, I try to cover as much ground as I can about any given piece of tech because it can help different people.
I guess
to know these things.
I don't think people are going to be really swayed to go. Not my day. I don't think people are really going to be swayed to buy Cyberpunk because of the crafting system. So
I mean, in this
or
case,
in
because he did
GTA
say it
for
was bad.
tennis.
Yeah, right. But I mean, like, there's still people out there for it. I don't think it's a massive majority of people that are like, "Hey, where's my tennis?" Like, I'm expecting
I just
an update
find
for the
it.
tennis.
Exactly. I don't think you have people out there who are on the fence about Cyberpunk, and then someone mentions, "Oh, there's crafting in it. I'm in." You know. Like,
Yeah.
Like
I
you
get
don't
that.
you don't have that, especially because crafting in games has become so ubiquitous at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like Minecraft kind of opened those floodgates, and ever since then, you always have all these survival games with crafting elements. You know, your Rusts, your Terrarias, your Daisy. Daisy.
Yeah, we can both laugh at that one. um, yeah, I mean, I would say so. Like, there are some crafting elements to most games, I would say, for sure. Though some games do emphasize on it more than others, and Cyberpunk seemed to be the game that would have emphasize more on that than others because like at first it was being marketed as an RPG.
It was.
Yeah.
But even then, I feel like crafting is not really that much of an. Well, I mean, you can put crafting in RPGs. Obviously, that is in fact a thing that often happens. But when people think about RPGs in particular, they don't usually think about the crafting options. They think more about the ability to personalize your character when it comes to choices, upgrades to like stats and things like that.
Alignments.
Yeah,
and things like that, like how you handle the story, what role you play, if you get like choices, I guess.
Now I just kind of want to play Fallout again. I never finished Fallout 4. I gotta play that.
I mean, go for it.
I'm sure the Steam Winter Sale will have the Game of the Year edition for relatively cheap.
I haven't seen it for that low on Steam, at least.
That's where Is There Any Deal comes in. You find it on other places for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, like Green Man Gaming, FYI, highly recommended. Green Man Gaming usually has a slightly better discount.
Fanatical also tends to be pretty good.
Oh, Fanatical.
Fanatical also tends to be pretty good. I got Injustice there, complete edition Injustice, I believe, for like $12.
12
with all the DLC and everything.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's for
really good.
Yeah, for the publisher, yes, very much so.
I think Warner's okay when it comes to sales. I think Warner can be pretty decent.
Yeah, but they leave a lot of stuff out of their games on purpose to put them in later.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh,
yeah.
Totally. Yeah, no.
Yeah, especially when it comes to characters.
NetherRealm fighting games, you should not buy them until a year after release when the complete edition is there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I was waiting out on Mortal Kombat 11. I did actually buy it for the Switch. I was like, screw it. It's on a pretty good sale right now.
How's it run?
Oh, I haven't touched it since I bought it. I'm going to be completely honest. I've been a bit too busy, and when I do have downtime, I've been playing Persona 3 on my Video Shield TV. Yeah, it has been quite a blast, I have to say, even though I do hate that every time I die, it's just, restart on the last load. And there aren't any midpoints in the dungeon system of that game where you can just stop and save, like how there would be in Persona 4 and Persona 5, especially Persona 5, how they have the safe rooms and stuff like that. But in this game, no, it's you have to go all the way back to the lobby area,
right?
Because the way the Persona 3 works is that they have a giant tower called Tartarus. And it has a whole bunch of floors, right? I'm currently the latest checkpoint floor that I've reached is floor 47. And it has many more floors than that. I'm only on block 2 of 6. So there's just a lot more to explore. So if I want to save the game, I have to get to one of those teleporters that brings you back to the very first floor to then go back and save the game. But those teleporters aren't checkpoints. They just take you back.
Right.
So if you're on floor 52, let's say, then you have to go back to floor 57 where the next checkpoint is, and then go back up. There are only checkpoints where there are bosses, essentially. Yeah. So it does make the game considerably harder.
Yeah, no, Persona 3 is definitely in need of I'm not going to say a remake, but like
a remaster?
An update.
A remaster, essentially.
Remaster, okay, but remaster can often just mean texture updates.
Sure, which it could use.
So I'm gonna say full update again, probably not remake, but I'm gonna say a full update where it's they actually fix a lot of these systems' quality of life.
Sure. I would love it if the same way that they did with Persona 4 Golden, just bring it over to PC and bring those updates over.
You'll probably see 5 first because
I'm perfectly fine with that. I would prefer to see 5 over 3.
Yeah, you're probably seeing that because Strikers is going to be coming out on PC.
Oh yeah, Strikers. Are you going to be getting Strikers?
Yes, eventually.
Oh, eventually, not on release date.
No, because
I think that's fair.
If only just because having now played through Fire Emblem Warriors quite a bit, I'm kind of...
Wait, Warriors? Or Three Houses?
Fire Emblem Warriors.
Oh, the actual hack and slash.
Exactly, which is what Persona Strikers is also modeled after.
Got it.
Having played those, sort of in this feeling of like Dynasty Warriors types games are not really for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there needs to be a good hook in order to get me to be interested in them. In the case of Persona 5 Strikers, it's because it is a direct sequel to Persona 5 and also because it does seem to have a lot more elements, tying back to Persona itself. Like, say, for example, Hyrule Warriors, I'm good. I'm going to pass on that. Game type is just not for me.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors, definitely not.
I can agree with you.
Especially because apparently Dynasty Warriors 9 was really bad.
The first Dynasty Warriors that I ever even tried to dabble in was for the 360. I think it was 2. Not sure. But I just didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like just hacking and slashing endlessly. It feels so redundant to me.
But I do think that because Strikers is supposed to be a direct sequel to Persona 5, that you need to put Persona 5 on PC. So I feel like that's inevitable. Hopefully it's Royal specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they've pulled some weird stuff in the past when it comes to things like that. Like,
yeah.
If you remember Catherine, they put
yeah, like just Catherine, not full body.
yeah, exactly. They put Catherine Classic on PC while they were releasing full bodied everywhere else.
Yeah, that's that's pretty weird.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Catherine's not really for me. Like, I am a fan of the whole like RPG part of it, like where you're actually interacting with the two Catherines, Catherine with the C, Catherine with the K. But then, like, I don't like the fact that it's a puzzle game, so I don't see myself playing it.
I played it many, many years ago, and I thought it was fine.
Okay.
I feel like if I played it now, I'd probably have a little bit more appreciation for it because I was a bit younger.
I see.
Like, I think I was maybe 13, 14, and so I was still kind of fresh new into these new genres.
Okay, fair. You know what? Fair enough. I think at around that time, I was getting into Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, still action RPG more so than turn-based. I actually wasn't that big a fan of turn-based games at the time.
I was very much into action-adventure titles and some first-person shooters every now and then. So Assassin's Creed was very much my thing at the time and still kind of is. That's one thing. If I do refund Cyberpunk, I'm probably going to pick up Valhalla, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
It's on sale, so.
You see, it depends on the price. I might do the same. We'll see. Like, the thing is, I haven't felt that excited to play an Assassin's Creed game since 3.
Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla are very different from classic Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
I know a lot of Assassin's Creed purists really hate that, but at the same time, I also have a lot of people that I know who weren't big fans of Assassin's Creed ever beforehand who really like it. Like my friend who built my previous PC, I was hanging out with him the other day. He's been telling me all about how he's been playing Odyssey, and he adores it.
Okay.
And he got it for free with the Stadia thing. So.
I actually applied for that, and I just got denied.
Oh.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm a bit of a Stadia shill now, so I bet they regret it. No, most likely not. But, yeah, it is still cool. I did dabble into Origins a little bit on PC. I got a little bit bored early on, not gonna lie, but I should go back and continue playing it. I think it was mostly just that I was playing with the keyboard or mouse. Probably not a good idea.
Controller might be better.
Yeah, controller might be better, so I'll give that another go for sure. I think I owe it to myself. Odyssey, I think I bought Odyssey. I don't quite remember, but I do still have to get Valhalla at some point and actually play these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do have to eventually play these games, definitely. Of course, maybe you can play a couple of games or whatever on Christmas itself. What do you have planned for Christmas Day?
Probably Persona 3. I'm probably still going to be playing that game on Persona 3. On Christmas Day. I think that's going to be the way to go for Christmas Day. What about you? What do you have in mind?
Relax.
Oh,
well, I say relax more than like I'm probably still gonna be doing some level of work. Like if everyone else is still sleeping in the morning, I'm probably gonna try and get some more work done in there for like thesis or another project I'm gonna be collaborating with someone on.
Is it gonna be red?
Huh?
Is it gonna be red?
Red?
Project Red. There you go.
Yeah, you lose that one.
I deserve it. That's fine.
But otherwise, I'm probably just gonna relax and hopefully chill a little bit during the day. Might be watching a movie with the family.
Cool.
All that stuff. I mean, Wonder Woman's coming out that day, of course.
Ah, yes.
On HBO Max.
Okay.
We are not sponsored by HBO Max. But
I just did it. No worries.
What's
I
it
got you
called?
covered. I'm a soundboard.
Might play a little bit of games. I'm not sure what I'm really going to be playing. I mean, I don't play that many games that often for
Yeah.
as much as we talk about them on here. But now that I have my
It is because of
own,
time, though.
it is usually because of time. Also, some a little bit of an interest and investment kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, I think
you
that's
know, should you really get that invested in this games as a service title
fair.
when you have other things to do and these games rely on you signing in every single day for like bonuses or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, like your Destinies or your, I do like Destiny, by the way, but
Mhm.
like, you know, your Destinies, your Anthems, your Marvel's, Avengers.
MMOs in general, too.
Multiplayer games often very dependent on you spending the amount of time that you need to actually get good at them, and that's a lot of time that I may not have.
That honestly reminds me that I do have to go back to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
I made it to Shadowbringers, which is like hundreds of hours in already,
Right.
and I have to finish that expansion.
That said, of course, if there is one game that is multiplayer that I do still play consistently, even despite my, or I say consistently, every now and then, despite my time constraints.
That's as consistent as it gets.
It is probably going to be Overwatch.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
recently played it. Yeah, I played it last night for the first time in a while, and we came to the realization that now that I have my own computer and my brother now has the old one,
Mhm.
we can actually finally team up and like throw
Actually
down.
play together.
Exactly.
Nice.
Instead of just theoretically talking crap about, you know, other teammates,
Or-
I can actually.
Or just like helping each other out.
And of course, you know, now that I have the Movo microphone, I can also actually like talk crap to other people.
Yes.
No, I probably.
Fantastic.
I don't even know.
microphone.
I'll be talking a lot more than I'd probably just be telling people to stop being babies. Because every single time I take a break from Overwatch competitive and I come back in for the first time in several months, my first match always features somebody whining and like just toxic, you know, mudslinging all over the place because, you know, Hanzo's not carrying. You know, it's like
Yeah.
all the god darn times. I'm trying really hard to be PG in this
And
one.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Trying really hard to be PG. I have to keep the foul language down to a minimum on this podcast. But,
Yeah.
like
Please.
every single time, and I just have to sit there in the text chat being like, guys, it's just a game. Glad to see competitive hasn't changed. And then someone will be like, yeah, Noman, we know.
Oh, man. Now, with that said, thank you very much for jumping onto tonight's episode.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
concluding.
Yeah, we're there.
Oh,
we're
man.
definitely at that point.
That's right. We do have to let people go, enjoy their holiday time
Mhm.
together, or I guess to find another podcast to listen to while they avoid their family.
Or just watch the other episodes of the Tech Summit podcast, of course. They're always going to be available on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify for that matter, so do make sure to check those out. Now, links to all of those platforms are going to be down in the description. If you are watching on YouTube, you're also going to see them right on screen over here. But with that said, this has been Francisco.
Hold on. We also forgot. We have to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
I was going to get to
and
that.
a happy holidays for those who celebrate things other than Christmas. Of course, we are in fact inclusive.
And all the other holidays involved.
Yes.
So I guess happy holidays in general to you, but to those that celebrate Christmas, specifically Merry Christmas.
Yes. And with that said, I'm Chris. This is Jack.
I'm Francisco.
And everyone, have a good night. Merry Christmas. And
Enjoy.
travel well.